Good afternoon. My name is Eugene Case, and I'm going to briefly talk to you this afternoon about school resource officers. Times have changed. It's a pretty simple statement, right? Simple, but I think it's a statement that we can all relate to in some way or another. Although times may have changed, one thing that has remained the same is the importance of a quality high school education provided in a safe environment that's conducive to learning and supportive of our young people. It was important when my parents went to high school. It was important when I attended in the late 80s. And now, 25 years later, it's important for my children. It's also important for your children. Most of us remember a teacher, an administrator, or a coach that played a pivotal role in guiding and directing us during our high school years. Many individuals play a role in that process, but one key component, often overlooked, is the school resource officer. USLegal.com defines a school resource officer as a career law enforcement officer with sworn authority deployed in a community-oriented policing and assigned by the employing police department or agency to work in collaboration with the school and community-based organizations. The first school resource officer in the United States was established in Flint, Michigan in the early 1950s. The main purpose of the SRO was to serve as a teacher and counselor to students. Over the next 25 years, the use of school resource officers crisscrossed the country and expanded from California to Florida and places in between. Most of the programs put in place during that time frame had similar objectives that were geared toward strengthening the relationship between the youth at the school and law enforcement agents that serve their community. The school resource officer is a must-have in high schools today. A school resource officer used in today's high schools can be a very valuable asset to the school and community they serve. School resource officers serve two distinct roles when they are assigned to a high school. They are there to support the educational mission, and they are there to keep the students safe. By being an expert with knowledge of the law, by understanding the crime statistics and trends of the community, and by knowing the people of the community, it allows the school resource officer to be an active team member alongside the faculty and administrative members of the school. According to the National School Resource Officer Organization, school resource officers regularly teach classes on a broad range of topics: bullying, aggression, dating violence, gang violence, driver safety, underage drinking, drinking and driving, drug use, peer pressure, fingerprint evidence, internet safety, search and seizure laws, sex crimes, the rights of victims of crime, and more. Teaching these subjects allows the school resource officer to inject real-life issues that the students can relate to that may occur in their daily lives. Once these outside distractors are addressed, the students can then focus on the real classwork inside the school. Furthermore, the school resource officer can serve as an informal counselor and mentor by getting to know the students and sharing conversations with them about their classwork or extracurricular activities. In doing so, they build a trust and rapport with the students that opens up the lines of communication. The other distinct role that the school resource officer plays a major part in is in maintaining a safe school environment. A trained law enforcement officer on the campus that understands search and seizure, weapons neutralization, physical security, while protecting individual rights is an important factor. It allows the trained expert to be able to deal with things like drug activity, gang violence, theft, or assaults that may occur on campus. Not to mention, in the event of a school shooting or other crisis situation, a trained professional is there to mitigate the issue and communicate with law enforcement to restore order as quickly as possible. One such example occurred in 2010 when school resource officer Deputy Carol Gudger of Sullivan Central High School in Blounteville, Tennessee, confronted a gun-wielding man that entered the high school and pointed the gun at the principal's head. Deputy Gudger was able to keep the gunman away from students until police arrived, and in a failed attempt to get him to surrender, he was subsequently shot and killed by officers. In the end, no faculty or students were harmed. Having a trained law enforcement officer on campus that day saved lives and was instrumental in creating a safer environment. School resource officers are a vital tool in today's high schools. They can teach a wide variety of educational topics that are relevant to teens and the environment they live in, and they can address the key safety concerns needed to protect students and faculty. The need for school resource officers can be summed up from a quote from the Supreme Court that reads as follows: "Without first establishing discipline and maintaining order, teachers cannot begin to educate their students. And apart from education, the school has the obligation to protect pupils from mistreatment by other children, and also to protect teachers from violence by the few students whose conduct in recent years has prompted national concern." In closing, I trust that you can comprehend the importance of what a school resource officer can provide to your high school, and I have made you see that they're a must-have in high schools today. Thank you for your time and attention.